Closing out Neko no Tsuki, aka Cat Month, we're here to present our boldest, most time-transcending project to date, a historical drama comedy which follows the story of a master swordsman through his most recent mercenary job. Madarame Kyutaro, the protagonist in question, has lost his job as a samurai and become a ronin, that is, a masterless samurai. We explored this concept in our earlier video on the 47 Ronin, a classic tale of wrongdoing, revenge, and loyalty. Madarame, however, is not a ronin due to the death of his master. Instead, he was fired from his job after failing to help another samurai commit seppuku.
After falling on hard times, Madarame falls in the middle of an age-old conflict between two rival clans who embody one of the eternal struggles, the battle between cats and dogs. As the story goes, the Aikawa have long been loyal to their cats, and the Yonezawa to their dogs. Once upon a time, an Aikawa cat scratched a Yonezawa dog, inciting a war between the clans, which has raged to this day. A new major member of the Yonezawa clan, however, is more interested in cats than dogs, and has helped set up a marriage between his prized feline and the Aikawa's top cat. The Yonezawa underlings naturally see this as an opportunity for the Aikawa to take control of the Yonezawa, and thus hire Madarame to take care of the problem. As it turns out, however, Madarame is taken by this cat, Tamanojo, upon meeting her, and kidnaps her rather than killing her.
While this marriage between two cats may seem ridiculous, and is likely being played for laughs, there's some merit to the Aikawa performing a ceremony like this. All throughout Japanese history, from the mid-1800s onward, prominent noble families would intermarry for the sake of gaining power. In fact, several major families, the Fujiwara and the Hojo being chief among them, would intentionally marry their daughters into the royal family in order to gain influence over the imperial throne. Over time, this led to the loss of power on the part of the crown and the increase of corruption and outside influence, with the Fujiwara and Hojo becoming de facto rulers of Japan for hundreds of years at a time. Thus, if we put this in an absurd light, we can see how the Aikawa cat marrying into the Yonezawa clan could harm the Yonezawa's influence.
This basic story set off a flurry of interest across the internet several years back when the original Neko Samurai television series aired in 2014. The idea of a super serious samurai taking along a feline friend for his mishaps and adventures couldn't be more charming. Naturally, this meant that the story was ripe for expansion, leading to an entire series springing up over the next few years. The first film adaptation of Samurai Cat was released the same year, written and directed by Yoshitaka Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi had worked on several projects before, namely the Samurai Cat drama series. The film was also co-written by Yuji Nagamori, who has a full roster of writer and producer credits working on dog and cat-themed films and TV series.
In 2015, another television drama and film were released, diverging quite a bit from the original projects. This time around with Neko Samurai 2, aka Samurai Cat Goes to the Southern Island, the film was headed by director Takeshi Watanabe. This was Watanabe's first film, though he had worked on various dramas before. The writer this time around was Hisakatsu Kuroki, who had previously penned the script for Tetsuo the Bullet Man, alongside director Shinya Tsukamoto.
Madarame, with his partner in crime by his side, is sent by his mother-in-law from his home province of Kaga to Tosa on Shikoku. Missing his boat, the duo try to ferry themselves south, but end up overshooting. After being eaten by a whale, they wash up on a foreign island where the locals know very little Japanese. Not knowing their language, communication at first is strained. Madarame quickly learns that the locals believe white cats to be gods, meaning that they try and kidnap Tamanojo. Black cats, meanwhile, are thought to be demons, meaning that their resident black cat, Yamu Yamu, is left with Madarame.
Of note is that this southern island is never fully explained. Initially, we thought that it could have been the Ryukyu Kingdom, Okinawa and its surrounding islands, which had not yet been incorporated into Japan during these stories' settings. However, the film prominently features the growth and sharing of bananas as an edible fruit. With this in mind, there are 3 possible locations in which the film could take place.
First, we have our initial guess, Okinawa. This would make sense, as Okinawa is home to a small species of banana known as the Shima banana. These fruits are smaller than those we might be familiar with in the West, and they're known for their sweet and sour flavor.
Second, Taiwan could also play host to the film. Portions of Taiwan were under Dutch control from the 1600s, which helped facilitate Dutch trade with Japan during the Edo period. Taiwan served as the leading exporter of bananas to Japan in the early 20th century, until they were overtaken by a neighbor to the south. What's more, the presence of pirates on the island in the film means that Samurai Cat 2 could take place either here or in the Ryukyu Kingdom.
Wokou pirates, a name which means small bandit and which was applied by the Chinese prior to the Edo period, were a class originating from Japan. Over time, their ranks came to include members of other nationalities, but the name stuck. Wokou pirates were known to raid port cities on the coasts of Japan, Korea, and China, as well as ships on the Japan Sea. They were also known to make it as far south as Taiwan and the Ryukyu Kingdom during these raids.
Lastly, the film could take place in the Philippines. Since the 1960s, the Philippines has been the largest exporter of bananas to Japan. However, this relationship obviously didn't exist until about 100 years after the film takes place. What's more, if we look at the shipping routes of the Wokou pirates, it's unlikely they would go so far out to sea as to make it to the Philippines, instead hugging the coast.
Considering all of this, thanks to the pirate raids and their presence in the movie, it's likely not the Philippines. And thanks to the Dutch colonization at the time, it's likely not Taiwan. This means that the film likely takes place on or around Okinawa, but the species of banana present makes it difficult to be certain.
Bananas likely weren't popular in Japan until the 1960s, when the Philippines started exporting them en masse to Japan. However, the Japanese banana, now known to have originated in China, is a plant with inedible fruit whose fibers are used to make kimonos. Today, bananas are one of the most purchased fruits in the world. Fruit in Japan is sometimes considered a dessert, which explains the visual joke in Samurai Cat 2 when a new delicacy is imported to the mainland.
So wait, did we just spend a third of the episode talking about bananas?
Yep. Right at the center of these 4 projects, 2 films and 2 series, is Kazuki Kitamura. This prolific actor has been around since the early 90s, working on several Takashi Miike projects, the Godzilla series, Kill Bill, and many more. Kitamura easily steals the show here, providing the overblown, serious inner monologue of a hardened Ronin, as well as the perfect comedic timing on his own and with his feline partner.
At its heart, the Samurai Cat projects are a series of period dramas about cats through the ages. They show that cats have been around for quite some time, sunbathing in houses worldwide throughout human history. And whether it's their charming personalities or the toxoplasma inside all of us, humans have long fallen victim to their charm. A bizarre mismatch of humor and tension utilizing the tropes of the Japanese period drama, Samurai Cat shows the facets of this human-cat bond in a unique manner.
In Japan specifically, cats have been idolized seemingly since their arrival there nearly 2,000 years ago. Apart from the obvious worship seen in the immortalization of cats through various shrines erected through the islands, such as the shrine discussed in our episode on Cat Heaven Island, cats have played a part in art and media for centuries. Beginning in the Edo period, when ukiyo-e block prints were first produced, artists quickly took to depicting cats both in their own form, but also as anthropomorphic representations.
Stories of cats appearing as humans can be seen throughout Japanese history, one example being the bakeneko. The bakeneko may have origins in the behaviors of cats standing on 2 feet. Before corporations produced cat food, pets were often offered table scraps. For many people in Japan, especially during the Edo period, a time the bakeneko may have first been described, their main diet consisted of grains and vegetables. As obligate carnivores, this diet alone wouldn't be enough to suffice their nutritional needs. At the time, oil lamps were largely made from fish oil. Thus, the cats would seize the opportunity for a lick at some animal product by standing on 2 feet, like a human, to reach the lamps.
Since the ukiyo-e depictions of cats from the Edo period, a number of other Japanese artistic depictions of felines have reached prominence on an international scale. Natsume Soseki, considered one of the master authors of the Meiji period, penned the novel I Am a Cat, one of his most prominent novels. In 1974, the company Sanrio introduced Hello Kitty, a household name internationally. My Neighbor Totoro, one of Studio Ghibli's most visually marketable films, introduced us to Catbus. Though they originated in Taiwan, Japan was instrumental in the rising prominence of cat cafes, where patrons can spend time with felines while having some coffee or tea. In the age of YouTube, user Mugu Mogu introduced us to Maru, one of the most famous cats in the world today. Not to mention Station Master Tama.
Samurai Cat and its spin-offs are one of the latest in a long lineage of cat appreciation to come from Japan. The first film also plays homage to the importance of dogs in our lives, featuring the prominent role of the Yonezawa clan's prized Akita. The eternal struggle between cats and dogs is represented here through clan warfare and hyperbole, providing the series a unique dimension to this take on cats in Japan. And while it might be a unique take, the Samurai Cat series offers something that fans of cats anywhere in the world can appreciate.
Thank you everyone for joining us on Neko no Tsuki. This month has been a lot of work and a lot of payoff, allowing us to pay homage to some of our favorite animals in the world. We hope you've enjoyed this journey through Japanese film to see what all of these projects have to say about the bonds between cats and humans. We'll see you around soon, perhaps even for Inu no Tsuki.